Ben, a very good morning to you. What's the weather telling you? What conditions will present at Caulfield today?
Yeah, g'day guys. Thanks for having me on. It's a little bit cold and a bit brisk in Melbourne this morning, but I do think the sun's supposed to come out this afternoon. We're supposed to have a lovely afternoon of weather for All-Star Mile Day at Caulfield. I suppose the big talking point, though, is no crowd and no fans will be on course today. Racing Victoria taking proactive measures to try and do their bit in the spread of coronavirus, which is a global pandemic at the moment. So we are racing today, but we're racing without spectators and fans on course. So I think the main thing is at least we are racing.
What's the general feeling, Ben, amongst you and your colleagues? Obviously, we know in New Zealand how proud Melburnians and Victorians are about sport and interacting with sporting events. This would be quite significant given already the Formula One being cancelled and other events around the state being, I guess, spectatorless. What's the general feeling amongst you and your colleagues about the situation?
I think people are sort of taking their time to get their head around things. I suppose it's a bit closer to home for me. I have my whole in-laws are all, whether it's nurses or doctors or medical professionals. I've got a brother-in-law who works as an infectious diseases specialist. So I've sort of been across it a little bit longer, and I'm glad that Racing Victoria and the clubs are putting in these proactive measures, because it is a pretty serious thing, and we can't stop the spread of it. We can slow the spread of it, and I think that's a real positive. So it is a different time, but hopefully racing's in a unique position where we're outside. We don't have to have too many people there, and if we have the right protocols in place, we might be a chance to keep going for some period of time where other sports, who knows, might even have to stop.
One thing about racing is that general protocols around quarantine and things like that are very good. Not just speaking about an international perspective, but protocols on race day themselves. Let's talk about the All-Star Mile of 2020. Alligator Blood is the $2.70 favourite. In New Zealand, Melody Bell has shortened into $3.80, and then you've got low double figures for Colding, Fierce Impact, both at 10, Regal Power at 10-1, Mr. Quickie at $12. And as we look at the runners nearer the bottom of the market for the All-Star Mile, you'll see Superstorm at 13 and Flit $15 from Barrier 15. What are your thoughts on the race?
Well, it's an outstanding race. There are, you can make a genuine case. There's 6 or 7 horses in this race that can win it without it all surprising. I'm no knock at all for the Kiwi mare and Melody Bell. I think she's no doubt one of the better chances in the race. You just mentioned the 380. I did notice even in Australia, she's been 5 into, I think, for 24.40. So she has been really well back. I think she'll take improvement out of the Futurity Stakes. The pattern on the day was against her. She's better suited 1600. She is drawn to get a beautiful run. So there's no knock at all on Melody Bell. And if people want to back her, I certainly wouldn't be talking them out of it. I think she'll measure right up, and I think she's going to be in the finish. She's the bomb-proof one that ticks all the boxes. I do think there's a couple that are just crazy odds in the race, though. One of them is Colding. Now, he was too bad to be true in the same race as Melody Bell last time out. If he runs up to that, he's got absolutely no hope. But I'm a firm believer in giving a good horse one poor run, and if you do that with Colding, suddenly he looks an enormous price. We saw his best form last preparation. Yeah, he was getting 4 kilos off Tiakau Shark, but he was good enough to beat Tiakau Shark in an Epsom handicap with a big gap to third. And I think Tiakau Shark's as good an older horse there is in Australasia at the moment. So at $11, $12 Colding, I think he's a horse that is over the odds, and you can have a small bet on him. The other one I think is Superstorm. Now, I think the 3-year-olds are a very good crop. That Australian geese, yes, we didn't see the best of Catalyst, unfortunately, but Alligator Blood had a lot in his favour that day, sitting up on a moderate speed and sprinting away. I thought Superstorm was terrific running home in the fastest last 200-metre sectional of the race. I think there's far too much of a discrepancy between the pair, and with Willie Pike choosing Regal Power, and really just flipping a coin to make that decision. We get Mark Zara aboard Superstorm. I think there's absolutely no negative there. If anything, it could be a bit of a positive for this horse because he's drawn wide. Mark Zara's a perfect jockey, and at $13, I think he's well over the odds. So no knock at all on Melody Bell. I do think Alligator Blood, given the fact he's been up for such a long time, is probably short enough at the price. And I think the two value runners are Colding and also Superstorm in today's All-Star Mile.
Okay, the following race is the 8th, and Admiral's Joker is the runner that is favourite. Is this a horse that you're prepared to climb into?
Oh, he looks the hardest horse to beat on the program. He was pretty good in the Blamey Stakes third up. He seems to have always just been half a run behind this whole preparation. He went first up Ruperton Stakes, was really good. Quick back up 1400. Didn't have a lot of luck. Blamey Stakes, he got there very quickly. It was a high-rating performance behind 50 Stars. He should be ready now to peak fourth up, second run at 1,600 metres. Just think he's going to take a power of beating. So he does look the standout winning chance on the program, Admiral's Joker. If you're going to back a short horse at Caulfield today, he probably is the one. They wanted to get him into the All-Star Mile. He didn't make it. The Anniversary Vase should be something of a consolation race for him. I think he's going to be very, very hard to beat.